Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Today's video is regarding hardwire installation of your dash cam or your radar detector system. The previous video I have uploaded, and you can see the link in the description, that was regarding how to install a dual channel dash cam in your car with a professionally installed wiring, so that you cannot see any wires inside or out of the car. So your cabin is totally free of wires, you cannot see. And also from outside, as you can see in this video, you cannot see any camera from outside. So the stealthy installation of this camera I had showed you. So if you see, the camera is over here, okay? So today's video, as I told you, is regarding hard wiring installation of your camera into your car. It actually goes in the fuse box. This is 2017 Toyota Corolla, and I can tell you what is inside and how we will proceed, okay? So this is the dash cam here. You can see this is the input. The input wire will go here, and then you take this wire here to the trim level. I have already uploaded a video previously. I told you, the link is in the description. You can check how I did it. So today I'll be going to do the same for a hard wiring, okay? So this was not hard wiring, this was for the cigarette lighter, okay? This installation was the cigarette lighter installation. So you take this wire all the way here, then you take it here, take this panel lightly and gently out. There is an airbag, this monster inside. This monster is sitting inside all the way in this panel and goes up to the head level of the drivers, okay? So don't mess with this guy. Mostly they recommend that you take the negative terminal of your battery out before manipulating with this thing. So you can do that too. Take this panel out and take the wires behind this airbag. You just feed that wire behind this airbag and then take it down over here. And I have taken this panel out just to show you where the fuse box is. Fuse box is under this yellow thing, if you can see. I will show you later on. So this is the wire that's coming from up there. It will go in the fuse box here. So, or you can take this wire, as I have taken it, to the cigarette lighter over there, guys. Just maneuver it from here towards that side, and it comes out from here, this one, and goes in the cigarette lighter. But today we are not going to do that. We are going to install it directly into the fuse box. So I have taken step number 1. You have to take this leather shield, sorry, not leather, it's weather shield. So you have to take this weather shield out, starting from here. Just pull it and it just goes away, okay? Just pull it out all the way up till here. You need it to do it up till here. And then I have already taken the panel that is here. I have taken you can see the lining of the panel, that is plastic. Just clip it out from here, and one clip is on the other side. You just take it out from here, and then one panel was on this side. I have taken that out too. What things you need today, these are the trim removal tools that helps you. What I told you, to take this thing out, pop this out, and these things, and also to maneuver the wire inside these trim levels. So you need this trim removal tool, okay? Next, you may need this tool, and then you need some tape. These are fuse tabs, 4 different types of fuse tabs, as I have already told you. And then this is hard wiring kit. This is from Viofo, especially for their dash cams. I have bought it from Amazon. You can get it from Amazon or somewhere else. So this is a controller. I already told you these are the 3 wires, yellow, red and black, and this is the connection that goes in the camera, front camera. This is input to the camera. You need this tool. This is voltmeter. You know this thing already. How to use it, you already know that. This black thing goes to the car chassis for ground, and this red thing you just click on the fuse and see if that fuse is working or not, and which fuse you want to use. The other thing that is alternative to the voltage meter, voltmeter, this is a tester. It is very useful. I will use this tool today. You just clip this on any of the chassis part of your car, and this is a pointed tip. Be careful about it, don't hurt yourself. So we will use this to see and to test which fuse we will use today. Okay, so the rule of thumb is you will use a fuse for yellow wire that turns on with the ignition. So with this tool, with this tester, you will apply it to the fuse box on a fuse that is I will using that is named 15. That is for the windshield washer. One is for the seat heaters or something like that. Both are named 15. So I will be using those ones. You touch that when the car ignition is off. Okay, and if this light bulb turns on, or the voltmeter gauge tells you that there is a voltage in it, so that means this yellow wire will go in that fuse, and you will add a fuse using these things. You will use any one of those. There are 4. Just which one fixes your car, you will have to rule that out, and you will throw away 3 of them, and you will use the only one that goes in your car. I will tell you which one I'm using today. So the red wire will go in a fuse that turns on. I told you the yellow one that turns on with the when the ignition is on. Okay, if I was wrong, I'm sorry. So the yellow one is for when the ignition turns on. This yellow wire goes in that fuse. When the ignition turns on, that fuse takes up the power. Okay, this red one, this goes in a fuse that turns on all the time. If the ignition is off or on, doesn't matter. You test that fuse and put this in that fuse using that add a fuse. Okay, these 2, and then this is the ground. You can use any area in your car chassis for the ground. You can take this bolt out, put this in, and then tighten it back over here, or you can use over here. I have found in Toyota Corolla this panel was attached on one side over here, and on the other side it was attached to this bolt. Okay, so I will put this on this I will put this ground wire, the black one, on this bolt, and I will fix it over there. Okay, this is the best place I have found. Okay, so you have to rule out what your car has and how the trim is. So this is a crimper, wire crimper. You will need that to crimp your wires, and I will show you the fuse box. The fuse box in this Toyota Corolla is right under the panel here. These are different add a fuse tabs. You can see they are different sizes. They are named differently. This is from Viofo. I have bought from Viofo at Amazon. The link is in the description. You see there are different sizes. This is the accessory fuse, and here will go the original fuse that you will take out of your fuse box. So these are 4 different types of add a fuse. This is the accessory that I got from Amazon. This is made by Viofo, specially made for their dash cams. So to hardwire, you need this port that goes into the camera, the front camera that is on your windscreen. I have already made a video for that, how to install the camera on your windscreen. And this is equipped with 3 wires. This one is ACC, that is connected to a fuse that turns on when the ignition is on. It's named ACC, color is yellow, remember guys. The other one is red, that turns on all the time. It's connected to the battery. So you tap in a fuse in the fuse box where that fuse is getting the power all the time, even the ignition is off. And this, of course, black color is ground. You can see a terminal on its end that we will ground to the chassis of the car. Okay, so after this I can tell you what is this. This is Viofo Hardwire kit for car dash cameras. You can see the inputs I have told you. Red is power, black is ground, yellow is ACC. That turns on when the ignition is on, that is yellow colored, I told you. And there are different settings on this little thing. This is a controller for this hardwiring. So this is this tells you its input is 12 or 24 volts. You can apply it for any kind of vehicle. So output is 5 volts, 2 amperes maximum. Okay, don't put like hair dryer or something like that on it. So it's for camera. So 2 ampere is max, a lot for the cameras. You can also add your other appliances like the car devices, the police radar, the radar kit. You can also apply that to the same. You need a connection for that too. You can either connect it separately or you can connect to the same, add a fuse. There is called a T-tap or something like that. You crimp here, like you crunch this wire and that goes in here. So the same fuse gives you 2 things. One is for the for your dash cam and one for the radar detector. So what this little control tells you, if you keep this control, it has got 4 settings. Okay, the first setting is for the 11.8 volts. So if I'm using 12 volts output, the 12 volts input, if the car battery drains to 11.8 volts and this setting is farthest left, so this thing will stop giving power to the parking mode system of your dash cam. I mean, when the dash cam is in the parking mode and you are out, after some time, if the battery drains to 11.8 volts or less, this thing will stop until you turn on the car ignition. It will be off. Okay, so the second setting, if you turn it right, so the second setting is 12 volts. The 12 volts output, it will turn off at 12 volts. Third one is 12.2, fourth one is 12.4 volts. Okay, you can see guys, this is the fuse box for Toyota Corolla 2017. The fuse box is here under the underside of the car panel. So I will be using 15 volt fuses. I'm not sure it's a volt or something, it's just numbered 15. Okay, one I will be using for ACC, that turns on with the ignition, and one I will use for the red one, that is for the battery sign on that will be the fuse that turns on all the time, like remains on all the time, even if the car ignition is off. So guys, the important thing is you have to rule out which fuse you are using today, okay, to add a fuse, because don't mess up very important fuses. Like for the some of them are for the airbags, some fuses are for very important functions of the car. Don't mess up with them, because if the fuse is gone, if there is any problem with that fuse, the airbags will not work, and you don't want to do that. So that's why I'm using one for the windshield washer, and one is for the seat heaters or something like that, or the power outlet. You can use any one of them, okay. I will test the fuses and then I will tell you how it works. So guys, I'm testing my fuse. I will see which fuse I'm using today. So to test that, you use this tester. I will snap it to some chassis part, and this pointed tip I will touch to the fuse and see if the bulb turns on. The bulb does not turn on with this 15 when I am using it with the ignition off. The car ignition is off. This 15, I will touch it. Yes, you see the bulb lights up. The car ignition is off, but the bulb is working. So this 15 is workable for ACC wire. Sorry, not for ACC, for the red wire. That is for the battery. This 15 works all the time, even if the ignition is off. So this can be used. This 15 does not work for the ignition off, and I will see if it turns on when the ignition is on. If that works that way, that will be the best one for our ACC. So I have turned on the ignition, and we'll see the same fuse. I think you are there for me. Here you go. You see, it turns on. The bulb turns on. So with the ignition on, I will see again the other 15 that I checked with the ignition off, that turns on, okay, with ignition on. This 15 is not working with ignition on. So this 15 and this 15 is good. Guys, for this car, you can see this fuse, add a fuse will work. So I have taken that fuse out from the fuse box that is blue colored. I have put that in here as an accessory fuse. I have put the orange one that came with this add a fuse circuit, okay. So this area will go in the fuse box where I took this blue out from, okay. So this one is the red one that remains on all the time, even if the ignition is off. I will put this this wire, the red one, in add a fuse over here like this, and then I will crimp it with the crimper, sorry. So let's see what happens. Guys, this is add a fuse, how it looks like in the teeth of crimper. I have put the red one inside this add a fuse, and I will crimp it, okay. So for the red wire, I had an add a fuse that was looking like this, and its end that I want to show you that I have crimped already, that looked like this, okay. It already has a blue coating, the insulation. I just crimped it over here, and it does the trick. You can see it holds the tension, it's in place. So previously I crimped it here, but it did not work. the wire came out. Then I crimped it here, taking the red wire insulation inside at the tip of the terminal inside, you can see, and it worked. The second type of fuse, add a fuse I have, that is kind of different. I have put in the 15 that I took out of my fuse box over here, and the other one that is the accessory one that goes in here. Its terminal, like I want to show you, is kind of different. Its insulation is like this. It goes along the red wire, and this tiny little guy, not coming in my hand, it looks like this. So what I will do, I'll take the yellow wire, put this inside this little guy like this. If I can show you, sorry guys about the camera. I will put it inside this little hole. Okay, after insertion, this insertion of this wire into that little hole, I will put that, I will join this terminal over here, and then the insulation will go over. I'll show you. So it is how it looks like, the ACC yellow wire. Its connection is like this. Okay, this is the crimper. I'm just using it to hold the wire, nothing else. And this is add a fuse. So I have taken this wire from camera, this one that goes into Viofo A129, and then it's coming from here, as I told you earlier, behind this curtain airbag, coming all the way down. And I have taken this wire over here. There is a pipe, so extra wire I have passed through this pipe. I just for storage purpose. Okay, so the controller is over here. This controller, I have kept it over here, and I will tie it with these wires so that it doesn't rattle when we drive the car. The wires are going down there, and now it's the time to install these wires inside the fuse box. These two wires, the red one and the yellow one, they will go in the fuse box as told you earlier, and the ground will go to the chassis of this car. I'll show you. So this is the black wire, that is the ground. I have attached it to here, this bolt, and I have tied a knot of this wire over here. If it pulls or something, the connection doesn't loosen. And I can show you the fuse box. You can see add a fuse is here for the wire that is red in color. Add a fuse kit provided red wire that is that will remain on all the time, even if the ignition is off. And here in this point I will add the yellow one ACC wire that will turn on with the ignition on. I will show you. And last but not the least part of this video, this is troubleshooting part of the video. Okay, listen it carefully. I know I have taken on much of your time. I'm sorry about that, but this video was long because there are a lot of steps that you have to go correctly. So I had installed everything correctly in my car, in my fuse box, but still then the camera was not turning on with the ignition or even without ignition on. Okay, so what are the troubleshooting steps you can see or you can take? Okay, this is the voltmeter. Put it on the resistance and see if your connections are working or not. For example, this is one connection. Take this rubber out from here, put one of your connection of this voltmeter or ohm meter. Right now it's on resistance, so this is ohm meter. So put one terminal on this terminal over here, so the second one in the fuse, and see if the resistance is here or not. So the same way you have to see for the red wire. This is the yellow one I told you, and same one you do for the red wire, and see if there is any problem with the fuse, so or the connection. Put one terminal on this fuse, second on here this fuse. Same way you check this fuse, same way you check these terminals, putting one terminal of your ohm meter here, second one here, and see if there is any recording. I show you. Sorry for the camera, guys. You see the resistance is maximum here. You see that? In this way you check the resistance. Same way you check all those fuses, 4 of them, 2 the original ones and 2 the new ones that you have put in. Same way you check these 2 connections that you have made. Same way you check if there is a connection problem here. Like take this wire out, and there are small pins inside, you know. Inside you can see, if I can show you, sorry about the camera, there are small pins inside the connections, the actual connections inside, you know that. I'm sorry guys, I cannot show you, but you know there are connections. Put one terminal of your ohm meter or your voltmeter over there, and the second one inside here. Okay, second one put on this terminal or on this terminal, anywhere. Okay, it should work, it should start any kind of recording. Okay, so for the yellow one, remember it will show less recording, less value. For the red wire that is in here, for that I have shown you earlier, this red wire, for that one this ohm meter will show maximum recording. That's what I have seen. That the other thing you can troubleshoot, make sure your black wire, the ground wire, this is yellow, that is red, you had one that was black, that is attached to your chassis before starting the connection, before before turning on the ignition, I mean. So these were the troubleshooting steps. One more, the last one, that's very important. This I don't know why it was happening, but it was happening. Doing all of that, still my camera was not working. So in that case, this is the original fuse. This was in this place, and this the light colored blue one that was over here. I exchanged their positions. Okay, I just flipped them over. Not only with the yellow one, yellow wire, the ACC wire, but also for the battery one, the red one. Both of the ADA fuse connections, I replaced the fuses. And what I recommend now is that the one that you took out of your car's fuse box, that goes in line with the wire. This is the wire, the red, the one you took out of your car, that is this fuse, this one over here, that should go directly in line with the wire. The new one, that should go over here. The same is for the other one. And if still your camera is not turning on, change the polarity of this fuse. Like you insert it like this. First time you insert it like this, next time try inserting it like this. Just change the position, the side, flip it around, okay? This will work. Still then, if you have some problems or some questions, comment in the comment box. I will try to return. So you can see guys, the ignition is off, and if you can see, there is red light inside the controller of this kit. This is Hardwire kit provided by Viofo, available at Amazon. You can see I have shown you there is a red light that is emitting out of this kit when the ignition is off. That means that camera is still working if it is in the parking mode. There is no key inserted. The camera is running in the parking mode. This is your camera in parking mode. Both the front and back cameras are working, and it's recording, okay? So if I turn on the ignition, let's see what is the difference and what happens, okay? Ignition is on, camera is still working. So that means you see there is a change, because when the ignition is on, I have put the settings on that the screen should go off after some time. So it is doing its job. That is perfect installation, guys. Wire is going through here to this area. Just a repetition. I don't want to take much of your time, just wanted to show you the final assembly here. This is how your wiring should look like. I have tied a knot here, some tape for the extra wires to go in. This is all to save you from annoying rattling sounds that should not distract you when you're driving. So I can show you the wires inside the fuse box. Here we go, guys. This is how it looks like in the fuse box. If you go to the settings, you can choose your desired parking monitor setting. I have chosen low bitrate recording because it takes least micro SD card space without compromising capturing license plates, okay?